set of rules. I live like a king, it's all about the best. Everything's better by the tools. To take over this game, I had to be patient. They said they wonder how I do it. I live my life like a motherfucking warrior. Welcome to Gladiator School. I'm a beast, I'm a dog. I'm a wolf, I'm a bear. I live a life over savage. I do what others wouldn't.
Gladiators, what up? It's your boy Shondo Blaze, and I'm here with my man
Millie Mel. Let's go. So hyped.
Let's get it, baby. Welcome to Gladiator School.
Yeah.
We on, baby. We on.
Man. We talked a lot about this, so I'm hyped for this conversation. I'm hyped for what we're about to introduce, and I know you're about to lead into it, but bro, I know they heard the song too, but I mean, I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, man. It's a lifestyle. So, hey, let's get into it, man. You guys see that here at Gladiator School, we always talk about 1% better every day. Incremental steps, man. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will you be. So that's how we rocking with this thing. So what we like to do at Gladiator School, the very first thing that we like to do is we like to get into that 1% better you book. You dig what I'm saying? Now, this is on sale on the site. I'm not trying to push it to you, but it will change your fucking life because it allows you to put things in an itemized way every day. You see what I'm saying? I am, I want, I did. So what I would have entered for the day is I am a beast. And I say I'm a beast 10 times. I wanted to do this podcast or our show. Excuse me, I'll be fucking it up. Millie Mill have to get on me, man. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to get this show done today. So that was the big thing that we wanted to do. I wanted to get that show done today. And so guess what? After we do that, all I say is I did. And then what I did for the day, I check, I got 1% better every day, or excuse me, I got 1% better today. And then that's a wrap. So the very first thing that we want to get into every time we start Gladiator School is the most juicy, the most pressing topic from your 1% better you book for the week. I know for me, it was about getting this show done. Millie Mill, for you, what was your most pressing, most important thing to get done for this week, big dog?
Man, my most pressing and most important thing to get done this week was to actually be consistent and reintroduce and stay on top and hold myself accountable to my blog that I do every week.
Oh,
some of you guys may have seen it. You know, I do what's called the daily process, and I take a video and record myself doing different activities, what I accomplished that day. It's a simple blog that come out once a week, but I haven't done it in a couple of weeks. So for me, the most important thing was I got started again. I recorded the first video. I'm here doing this today. So the most important thing that I'm super excited about is I'm getting back to my video vlog. So that was the most important recap for me.
Let's get it, big dog. I like it. Hey, that's what this is about. Holding each other accountable, man. When you have something that's up there, you know the song gets up there and it's stuck there. We've been saying that shit, man. It's been up there. When you got something up there and you hold yourself accountable for it being up there, then you got to execute. Okay, so the very next thing that we like to do here at Gladiator School. Now, since this is the first episode, we're trying to go through the itemized list so that everybody following can understand the breakdown of how this thing goes. Just like you guys have systems wherever you work, whatever you may do, it's a system here, and we want to take you guys through it. So the number one thing that we did was we went over the most pressing, most juiciest recap of our most important entry in our 1% Better You book for the week. Now, the next thing that we like to do, we like to get into the warrior quote. Let's read the warrior quote for the week.
Let's go.
Victory is reserved for those that are willing to pay its price. Sun Tzu. Now, this is Sun Tzu.
Gladiator shit. That's some gladiator shit.
It's some gladiator shit, bro. Like it's reserved. Not see. In the world today, they let you think that you deserve happiness, you deserve a good job, you deserve a raise, you deserve all this shit. But the whole thing on the other end of that, you deserve shit is, did you pay the price for that? And with this fucking quote, I love it because it says, victory is reserved for those that are willing to pay the price. So what are you willing to fucking do? Millie Mel, when it comes down to your dreams and your goals, are you willing to do? You willing to do anything to get that shit, bro?
Hey, true gladiator is willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. And I know we're gonna go. We got so much. It's the first episode, so I got so much to get off and say. But in this theme of Gladiator School, I had to go back, and I went back to season 1 of Spartacus on Stars.
Blood and Sands, baby.
I had to get it. I had to get that spirit in that whole that time period. And with that quote is so on point because when you was a champion, like you got your own dorm, you got the women, you got a little bit of money in your pocket. Like it was reserved for winners and winners only.
Facts, man. Facts.
Yeah.
I love the fact you got back into that, because what we want everybody that's listening to understand is that anybody can be a gladiator. That's why I love the thought of a gladiator, because anybody can be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not you had slaves that were gladiators of all races, colors, creeds, everything. So when I say slave, don't just think about some old 400-year ago bullshit. I'm talking about for the entire existence of civilization. There has been groups of people that were enslaved, and what happened was that sometimes they were taken and they were made to fight, which is they were considered gladiators. In other situations, you had people that they wanted to make extra money, so they became gladiators. So there were a lot of different reasons for why people took up that mantle, but the whole thing is they were gladiators nonetheless. And that shit was all about training with other people that were good than a motherfucker, that were gonna get you good than a motherfucker. And that's why we call this shit here Gladiator School. You did. So yeah, man.
It's a good quote. It's a good quote.
I like that quote, man. And Sun Tzu, you know what I mean? If you guys haven't checked stuff from him out, he's gonna have the quote that pops up. So you guys look, hey man, when we say a quote, look those people up that gave those quotes. I'm not gonna give too much here because I want you to go do some research on it. You can't just listen to it. I want you to see it, look at the name, take the name, Google it, see some other shit that he said. He's got a lot of dope fucking warrior quotes out there. So that's just one of them. That's the one we chose to address today. Let's go ahead and move along, man. The very next thing that we're going to get into is for every single month, okay? Every single month, we have a particular gladiator, you know what I'm saying, that we like to highlight. You know, goddamn, Melly, man, quit flexing over there. Boy, you about to make me take that shit out. You did.
Hey, you know, I'm working out.
I see. My nigga did 40 close grips before he got on camera. Hey, but this month, the gladiator that we're going to be highlighting is none other than, drum roll, please, Nino fucking Brown, man, of New Jack City. The man, the myth, the legend.
Character. That is hey, Wesley Snipes killed that role.
Man, demolished that motherfucker, crashed it with no fucking insurance in a wet ditch in Mississippi, man. You're hey, listen, Nino Brown means so much, not only to the culture, but just to like when you see that character, just think about that cover. When he's got his hands crossed like this, he got the gun in one hand and the cigarette in the other hand, with the smoke just coming up. Say, Doc, that's some real shit, bro. Now, that's the gladiator that we're gonna be fucking concentrating on for this particular month right here. And the thing that we do with each gladiator is that we touch on an attribute from them as we go on throughout the month. The very first thing that we're gonna touch on with Nino Brown was his fucking ambition. Melly Mel, tell us about ambition, bro. Like what's ambition? What does that shit mean to you, man?
Man, ambition for me is like, it's like that little Kindle. Like when you're trying to start a fire, like that little tinder that you need, you gotta have an ambition. You gotta have a little fire in your belly. You gotta have something in you that you want to be bigger. You want to grow. You want to turn something small into something big. You gotta have a little hunger. You gotta have a chip on your shoulder. All that to me is you gotta have that ambition. And just like you said, Nino Brown, New Jack City. Bro, tell me he did not have all the ambition in the world. He wanted to take over everything. He wanted to be the biggest, no matter what it was. And who better to start off Gladiator School than Brown, right?
Come on.
So for me, and that's what ambition is. It's that little embers of you about to start a fire. It's like that little bit of coal that you need to get that fire going.
Get that bitch going, man. Let me tell the people just a little bit about like really what that shit means, especially when it comes down to our situation. Like if you haven't seen the movie New Jack City, motherfucker, that's your homework. And really, you should slap yourself and your uncle for not showing you the shit, because it's really a travesty that you haven't seen.
You have to see it. Yes,
you gotta see it. Let's just put it that way. So in the beginning of the movie, you'll see his boy G Money jump into the back of the Jeep. And basically what he tells him is he shows him that little vial of crack. You know what I'm saying? This is in the 80s now. So he's like, hey, this shit is going to change the world. So just putting it in modern day sense for us, We said, you know what, bro? I think we got something, man. We got something that's a little bit different than what other people are doing. Not only are we finna try to inspire and kick some people in the ass that really need to get kicked in the ass, give them some information on some shit they can make some plays on, but we're also gonna give them an itemized list of things to be accountable for. You know what I'm saying? So when G Money jumped into that fucking Jeep and he told Nino that shit, like when I had the thought to even go this way, I felt like I was looking at that vial and I was like, damn, Gladiator School. Like, hey, that's how we rocking this motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
That's how we rocking this motherfucker. And the first fucking thing that we gonna do is take over the fucking Carter, man. The first thing that we gonna do is take over the Carter. You feel me?
Yo, and while we're talking about that movie, and I know a lot of you guys have already seen that movie. And if you haven't, again, shame on you. But before they went to that crack, they was already selling a little something. They was already doing it. But G Money, he was doing a little bit on the side, and he saw something was happening. He brought that to Nino Brown, and Nino Brown, when he hopped in that Jeep and gave it to him, Nino was like, you know, let me think on this a little bit. Let me ponder. Let me sit with this a little bit and figure out how we want to do it, which turned out to be the takeover and taking over the Carter. But what's dope is, and I wanted to comment on this because I know we have a few loyal viewers, and I appreciate the loyal viewers that we have, and how this is so relevant to G Money, Nino Brown, Shondo Blades, Melvin Johnson. It is almost the exact same way to where we started off doing a little something, which was the 1% Better Everyday show. And I wasn't even a show, it was the podcast. And then the podcast became the show in that last episode, if you saw it. And to me, when that conversation from podcast to show, that was the, hey, here's that crack. What you think about that?
Right.
And, when we sit back, it's like, damn, let me think about it. You know what? Yeah. Gladiator School. Like that is exactly almost how it went down. Like it's great that you can like take it like that. That's pretty much how it went. It was like, you know what? Goes from the podcast into the show. But you know what? It's much more than the show. We need to revamp and have something that's action items to what now is the first episode of Gladiator School. And I'm so thankful that we chose to do Nino Brown, because that storyline correlates to exactly how this right here has been birthed, with obviously thanks to Mr. Shondo Blades himself, but pondering on that, like, you know what? We got to scrap all that. We're going to do something totally different and have the whole thing. So I'll let you go into the ambition and where we're going with that. But bro, those stories correlate.
Bro, but listen, I like how you expounded upon that, because to be honest with you, motherfuckers need a kick in the ass. That's just facts. That's just what it is. Motherfuckers need somebody to take them and say, look, you being a bitch right now. You need to execute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see groups of friends that just say, for instance, I see a group of friends this year and I hear what they're talking about. Because I don't go to a lot of shit, but when somebody does invite me out, I may go hang out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I see dudes and they may be talking about something. I see them again a year later, they talking about the same shit. I'm like, hold on, like, why the fuck? Like, y'all motherfuckers not holding each other accountable, like making sure that these motherfuckers, like, that y'all execute this shit? Like, oh, no. Ain't having it. We ain't having it. If you fucking with this, if you watching this shit right here, nigga, then you execute. And if you're not, you're going to start feeling bad. You ain't going to watch us no more. That's what's going to happen. You're going to start feeling bad, like, damn, I ain't been keeping up with the missions. You see what I'm saying? I ain't been looking up the different people saying the warrior. You're going to feel like a bitch, and you're going to leave. But that's cool. We need the true gladiators to stick around, because that's the iron that's going to sharpen us. I ain't going to lie to you. Hey, people out there, me and Melvin are selfish. We made this shit so that we can get better. But guess what? While we getting better, you going to get better, because that's what a warrior is. It's you first, then everybody else. But you guys help each other, build on each other, and sharpen each other. So, bro, thank you for going into that, man. Thank you for going into that. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to address a gladiator of the week. And so we had Nino Brown, just so you guys can get the terminology. So that way when we spitting it out episode after episode, you understand where we're going. Our gladiator of the month is Nino Brown, right? We talked about his first attribute being ambition. Now, our gladiator of the
to that point real quick, while you on that, and because this is new, so I know even me and Shondo, we still trying to fill each other out and when we want to come in and speak and things like that. But I want you guys to understand that when we have the gladiator, which is Nino Brown, we're going to focus on some Nino Brown for about 3 or 4 weeks. Like, we're going to take different attributes because the idea is we want you guys to not be Nino Brown. We're not saying go out there and sell dope, but there are certain characteristics that made him who he is and made him successful. Now, we all know in life, some of the biggest drug dealers in the world could have been the best businessman, period, but they decided to sell dope. So with that being said, one of the attributes that Nino Brown had was the ambition. We want to talk about that. And we want to kind of give you guys some homework assignments on how you can work on your ambition. And then next week, we may still be on Nino Brown, but we may have something else, another characteristic about Nino Brown. But within that, and Shauna's about to go to that next person, but each week we want to highlight somebody, maybe in current events or something that we see going on that we want to highlight as, yo, that guy he was a gladiator of the week. Just like in the some of you guys might have it on your job or something like that. But I just want to make sure you guys have a true understanding of how this is going to go from here on out. Like right now, we're talking about Nino Brown. We're going to stick on Nino Brown for a few. But every week, we always want to touch on somebody that we see as a gladiator for the week. So I'll let you continue that, Shondo.
Bro, I appreciate you chiming in on that because real talk, I think that just gave them an even better understanding because I feel like I was putting it a certain way that I felt that they got, but I think that your explanation just put the shit over the top. So, bro, I appreciate that, family.
It's a team,
but our gladiator for this particular week right here. Now, like Melly Mill said, we have our big gladiator for the month that we take attributes off of, and that's what goes every week. But then we have, let's just say, like a performance deal, or I hate to take it, but a lot of people understand these terms. Like Charlemagne has like the donkey of the day type shit. So this is similar to that, but we do it in another way. These motherfuckers not donkeys. These are our gladiators of the week. And we gotta say, shout out to that nigga, Dak Prescott, boy. Woo! Just signed a major fucking deal with Dallas. $160 million, $126 million guaranteed. His family's gonna be eating, bro. So shout out to you, straight the fuck up.
Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Dak, man. That's amazing. You know, I'm not a Cowboy fan, as you might see in the back. I'm a Raider fan, but I always support athletes getting paid, especially in the NFL where they put their bodies through some tremendous things. And if you do follow the NFL, or if you do follow Dak and you are a Cowboys fan, you know that he went through a crazy injury. And prior to that injury, they was like, yo, you should sit out because you need to get your money first. Everybody was still, up until a couple of days ago, was still skeptical that they might not sign him. He might not get his money. He did all this for Dallas. So at the end of it, to see that he put a lot of hard work in for a lot of years, he got the benefit in the form of $160 million. Obviously, he still got to perform, but I'm super happy to hear that a quarterback, is getting that type of money. And as a cherry on top, because he's a dope quarterback, he's a black quarterback, so I got to show love to that. Off top, obviously, Sean played quarterback, so you know how difficult the position is.
Listen, bro, you just said a quarter black, and I was like, that's right, nigga. Like, I don't even know if you knew you fucking said that, but shit, that's exactly right. Like, yeah, bro, that's an amazing thing, man, that he's now put himself, I think he's number 2, like his contract is the second behind Patrick Mahomes or something like that, but that's just lit, dog. That's lit. He went through a fucking gruesome-ass, horrendous, fucking, terrible fucking injury, bro. So I'm glad that they looked at that and they were like, hey, we don't think that that's going to have any relevance on the way he plays moving forward. And they paid the man, dog. They paid the man. So, hey, shout out to that boy.
And what he going to do. And shout out to him because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Anybody think you can go out there and play quarterback or get a $160 million deal, you crazy. He had to put in a lot of work. I'm even talking about work since probably high school, college, he's been putting in work. And here's the payoff how many years later. Like, it don't come quick. That's a true gladiator right there.
Bro, listen, that shit, because I played the position in Little League on through college. That's one of those positions that if you are the starting quarterback for anything, I don't give a fuck how small, how big the place is, wherever you at, you have to dedicate a certain amount of time to that shit. And with him playing that position on the highest fucking level and having the fucking production that he had, I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker is or is not a Cowboy fan. I don't give a fuck about any team in the NFL, to be honest with you. I'm a fan of people. But, bruh, that's fucking dedication at its finest and on the highest level. And this motherfucker just put himself and his family in position to have generational wealth that a lot of motherfuckers can eat off of. So shout out to that nigga, man. Straight up, bro. Straight up.
Because yes.
So the next thing that we want to roll right into, man, you know what I mean, so that we can get our flow and everything going on. Gladiators. This is where we drop what we gonna be doing at the end of the month. We want to start getting gladiator meetups that we set up. So I'm gonna be mentioning it now, and I'm gonna mention it again at the end of the episode. But our first one, I don't like that word. We getting it together, and we gonna be doing some shit with some cigars, bro. We gonna be doing some shit with some cigars, like, you know what I mean, with some fine cigars, some fine ladies. You dig what I'm saying? Some ambiance. You dig what I'm saying? So
some good lighting, you know. I feel you.
You see, I gotta swirl that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be some nice ladies that's serving and giving the cigars and just making it a whole dope experience, man. So this is part of it. We want to start reaching out. We want to start meeting up. This is a very elite group that you guys are choosing to be a part of. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be in this shit. Some of the stuff we say, some of the stuff that we're about, everybody's not gonna be about. But you know, like I got two special words that my aunt, grandma, and dad passed to me. Fuck them. Like, if you're not with it, like, it's fuck you. Like, it doesn't matter. Fuck them.
Like, hit us with some nice quotes. He said, fuck them.
Bro, that is the best quote I've ever heard in my life. You see what I'm saying? Because it alleviates the stress off of you. We're not trying to go get everybody. When I say gladiators, what up? If your ears do this, then you who we looking for. You understand what I'm saying? So that's going to be just a quick tidbit. That's going to be our meetup for the end of the month. There's going to be details on it as this thing goes along. But we want to meet up at the end of the month in a few weeks. And we want to just smoke cigars with the other gladiators, man. If you're not there physically, you're gonna tap in through the social media.
Yeah, live or something. But yeah, I'll definitely, because you know, me and Shonda, we want to engage with y'all, not just, you know, texting or DM, but if you are in the Houston area, surrounding area, you can get to the spot that we designate for that meetup. Man, we want to be able to congregate, you know, be able to talk to one another, hear your ideas, hear your story, hear your passions, things of that nature. I want all the gladiators, obviously, to be able to meet one another, so that, you know, when you in the comments and you saw somebody post something, you can put actual face to the name and actually talk to that person. So yeah, those meetups are that's gonna be a good look, especially with us. You know, we love this.
And listen, the first one is in Houston. They're not all gonna be in Houston. We gonna be all over the country with this shit. The first one is just gonna be in Houston. So I want you guys to know it. So if you like, damn, I don't live in Houston, I'm never gonna be able to go. Bullshit. We gonna be in your motherfucking city. We pulling up. You dig?
Yes,
so Houston is just the first one. You know what I'm saying? That's just the first one. So keep that in the back of the fucking brain as we go along. As we talking this shit, you may hear what I'm saying and be like, man, let me call this motherfucker on this shit. Pull up. Meet me at the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Beat me there. Don't meet me there. You understand what I'm saying? So, bro, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We talked about Nino Brown's ambition, and the first order of operation was the takeover. You know what I'm saying? So the takeover of the Carter. So I know what taking some shit over means to me. Like, it means what we're doing now. It means what we're doing with this show. It means what we're doing with 1% Better every day. It's like it's a daily quest to just conquer shit. So when you hear somebody talking about a takeover, like what's a takeover mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Like what does that look like to Melly Mill, a motherfucker taking some shit over, bro?
Man, what it look like to me is, because I don't feel like at any point I'm going to reinvent the wheel, quote unquote, but I can definitely make it better than the next person doing it. So when it's a takeover, that means I'm coming in, forget what you did, forget how it was done. We're gonna do it this way now. This is the way it's going to have. This is the way it's going to be done from here on out. And we're gonna make it a lot better. We're gonna make it sexy. We're gonna make it vibe. We're gonna do all the things that the next person couldn't do. We're just gonna make it better. So we're gonna take it over and make it our own, and it's gonna be a lot better than where we found it or how we
talk that shit
used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a takeover. And going back to Nino Brown, that's how, like, he took over the Carter. He took over an entire apartment complex, like a whole building.
Bitch ass.
Took over the building.
Yeah.
The building was occupied. The building was nice. He took it over and made it where he wanted it to be.
Hey, bro, did you see how he did it though? When my boy rolled out the blueprints, my man Kareem looked at it, he said, wait, you're not talking about taking over the Carter. Yeah, we taking over the Carter. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we taking over the motherfucking Carter. What the fuck you thought this was? We coming for the internet.
Big ambition. You gotta have big ambitions, and you gotta be willing to take it over. You have to be willing to take it over.
Big, bro. You got to have nuts, man. You got to have them things that you got to do like this. If you can do your nuts if you can grab your nuts like this, bro. Hey, I don't know. You got this shit got to be some of this type. You remember on that the movie Major League where the motherfucker was doing stuff like that? Yeah.
You have to have all that. You have to have all that. You have to have all that to be a gladiator. And to the point of the gladiator school, like again, like this platform and what we're doing is for people that want to be the alpha male or alpha female. And in this case, maybe you don't want to be the alpha male per se. You don't want to take on that persona, but you want a few little attributes. This right here, having those nuts to be able to walk into that meeting, walk into that building, walk into whatever it is that you're doing, be like, I'm taking it over. If you want to start selling t-shirts, take over the game. Ain't nobody's t-shirts better than my t-shirts.
Nobody. Bruh, and it's funny that you say that because when we talking about the takeover, you see what I'm saying? So, you know your boy. Like, I'm a dude. I've invented different things and stuff like that. And everything that I invent, every different product, I'm like, how the fuck can I take over with this particular product? You see what I'm saying? So when I think about the takeover or taking anything over, that's exactly what I think about. I think about something that may not have existed in this particular space. Mm-hmm. I've created it now. How can we now position it to where when a motherfucker look at my shit and look at somebody else's shit, it's like it's like night and day. We're not even looking at the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you were to look at a plate, let's just say from Carrabba's, some lamb chops from Carrabba's, okay? Yeah. You got them on the plate, plated nicely, right? And then on the other end, you got fucking lamb chops that's come out of a fucking TV dinner or some shit like that. It's not gonna be the same. You see what I mean? So my whole thing is that how in the fuck can we take things and absolutely make them obliterate shit that's in that space? I want to obliterate everything in the self-help fucking space. Period. I'm coming for your motherfucking ass. If you just on here and you just motivating without no action items, we coming for your dog ass. Because guess what? The people gonna be able to understand, like, you know what? I watch all these videos from all these people. And when I'm through with it, all I want to do is watch another video. I want you to turn this fucking video off and I want you to say, I need to fucking do something. That's what the takeover looks like to me. The takeover of the internet, the takeover of people's consciousness, the takeover of any type of space that Gladiator School would fit in. I want to completely obliterate all fucking competition at all fucking costs. And I think that's why Nino Brown resonates so much, especially with me, because he came and said, you know what? We're not just going to take over a corner. See, a corner is the way that it's been done. You get what I'm saying? That's why they've been doing it. They've been taking over corners and shit. No. We're going to take over a whole fucking building. And not only take that motherfucker over. Did you hear what he said? He said the tenants that are good with it, they'll love it. They'll be our loyal customers. He said, but the ones that ain't with it, fuck them. They gone. We getting them the fuck out of here. So that's how we rocking, bro. Like, the takeover is real, man. We here. I'm so excited. I know we rambling the fuck on, but I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped, man.
Very hyped.
The takeover real.
No, I'm hyped because even having a few conversations about, you know, what we were doing as far as the Gladiator School, there was a lot of people that was excited because you guys are looking for this information. You're looking for this type of content. You're looking to, one, get motivated, but two, just like Shondo said, on the back end, you need some action items. Okay, if I want to be a little bit more like this, what are some small incremental steps that I can do to get like that?
Right.
And that's what we're doing here. And just like Shondo said, the takeover, and man, go back and watch that movie, and it's so crucial when you see what he was able to establish. Now, again, we're not glorifying the selling of drugs and all the bad stuff with it, but look past that and look a little bit deeper to the messaging that we're trying to get across is, bro, he came up with a system within the Carter that they compared to what did Pookie say? He was like the they call him beat him up to Scotty, and he was a mad scientist. The way that pay for the drugs, you got a key card, you go over here, over here, you do everything in the car. Like that was, bro. And when that movie came out, what, the early '90s, like that was something totally different. That was something nobody ever seen before.
Bro, hold on, like just tell me that shit wasn't sophisticated as fuck.
It was.
Just tell me that shit wasn't sophisticated than a motherfucker, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, you got to look at that shit and see, like, he took some shit that was known as more of like some petty niggas peddling that shit on the corners to a sophisticated fucking organization, bro, with a hierarchy, with fucking people that were placed in different positions. Come on, God. I'm gonna get the I'll get out this motherfucking tank right now, bro. I'm telling you.
That's why, and even that's why I said, you know, some of the biggest drug dealers that you hear about in history that a lot of people just name off the top of their head, they really could be some of the best businessmen out there. And
I'm telling you,
to a lot of people's point, there are some drug dealers that was drug dealers in the past and maybe did some things in the past that have now reshaped their life. And you hear about some of those deals that they're doing, from the 50 cents to a lot of other people that are on the top of the world because they applied those principles that they learned in the streets, but they were smart enough to say, you know what I'm doing, the way I'm doing is going to put me somewhere where I don't want to be. Let me redirect that into something legal. And they are the living example of a Nino Brown right now living before us. So, man, take heed to what's being said and don't look past the champagne pouring on the head and the dogs barking when, you know, $5 while I make change. Like, there's a lot of good business stuff in there. And that's why this Gladiator School is so dope to me, and why highlighting somebody like Nino Brown and a lot of other characters we're going to get into for the rest of the year and going forward. But, man, right now, just talking about that takeover. So whatever it is that you're doing in life, think about how can you take it over? How can you make it the best thing you can be? Like for me, I'm doing a candle line that me and Shondo talked about that obviously a lot of our loyal viewers are familiar with and heard us talk about before. That's an industry where I know I can penetrate and try to make better what already exists. The dopest thing for Shondo is he has an invention that he is creating that market. So he has a little bit more work to do, which is even doper because he's really trying to take over something. Like bro, you really trying to take over the whole game. What you have going on from nuts to bolts, bro. Like the whole.
Hold on, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Take that T word, throw that T. Go look for the nearest garbage can you got. Throw that motherfucker away. Throw that word away.
It's gone.
I just used it a few minutes ago, and I had to correct myself, bro. We're not trying.
I used it. I didn't even know it. That's why we always get like this is real time. Iron sharpened iron. Gladiators like a gladiator can't be in a ring and kill everybody else to be the champion of that without training back at his doctori and training other gladiators. Like you need other gladiators to get better. And this is a real life example of him making me better and me making him better and vice versa. So I appreciate that. And that is a word that I'm going to throw away because it's a couple other words I done threw away since I met you. But I appreciate it.
But you know what? To be honest with you, I just used it probably 15 minutes ago, like talking. And I caught myself doing it. Like we don't try, we do. We execute. You know what I mean? We make things happen. Because in the journey of making things happen, whatever else comes of it. So, we're not trying. We're not trying to take over the space. We are taking over the space. But yeah, bro, like it's so instrumental to just get these things out there and talk about them and talk about the ways that you can make these things happen. Because, bro, your candle line is gonna be top notch for the simple fact that you're putting it through its paces. Like that's the one thing that you can't skip. That's what 1% better every day is. That's what all this shit, bro. You cannot skip fucking steps. You got to go through every single thing and see, you know what? I thought this was going to be like this, but I need to pivot. And having the flexibility to pivot. When you look at a character like a Nino Brown, that entire movie, this motherfucker wasn't doing shit but pivoting. And that's why I fucking love it. He was never tied into one thing in particular. Always ready to switch suppliers. Always ready to. Now, some of the moves you could have said, man, that was stupid to do that. That's fine. Just like you can look at any major CEO and say, hey, that was stupid for him to do that. That's the game. Here's some stuff that I've done that's been stupid, but it's just a game. But I'm gonna give real quick. You mentioned 50 Cent, right? Like almost like a modern day Nino Brown. I'm gonna tell you, he don't even. This is how a gladiator can help you, and they may not even know you. You see what I'm saying? 50 Cent helped me so much from the standpoint of, you know, the song Hustler's Ambition, right? And the way he starts the song off. And when I first started acting on ABC, everybody that I know is like, man, did they make you like act different, or did they try to cover your tattoos or whatever? I'm like, fuck no, they didn't try to do none of that shit. They like, you know, I was Shondo all the way in that motherfucker. And I remember that first part of that song where 50 Cent says, America got a thing for this gangster shit. They love it. Like, when he said that, like, anybody that's a little edgier or whatever, like myself, they would normally be in a situation and feel like maybe I need to clean it up a little bit so that, you know, so that I can fit within the construct of what's going on. You know what I mean? Not understanding that really that's their superpower. 50 Cent's superpower is because he will walk into a room and an executive won't know if he gonna make a deal or get dead on their motherfucking ass. Because he has a level of tact that leaves you in a sense of, I don't know. I don't know. And that's how a good general should be. Whenever you saw Nino Brown in that fucking movie, it was like, this nigga could turn up or he could stay calm at any moment in time. Any moment in time. So Fifth don't even know he gave me that little tidbit of knowledge, but he did. That was way back when that shit came out. Because when I jumped on TV, I thought about that shit. I'm like, bro, America got a thing for this gangster shit. They love it. They love it. Nigga, be you. Be you all the way to the point where being you get tiresome in the morning, nigga. That's how tired I was of Shondo, nigga. Because I was being me so fucking much. I'm speaking in third person to these motherfuckers. Like, man, Shondo ain't doing that. Like, but I'm just saying, bro. And it wasn't on a difficult type deal. It was on a, man, I love being me, bro. And that's what this is about. Gladiators, we want y'all to love being you, man. Love the skin that you in, because it's the only skin that you get. So you gotta love that shit, bro. You gotta love that shit.
Unapologetically love it.
Come on, man. You got to. When we talk about the takeover, bro, like that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Like Millie Mills said, you finding out different ways to make your shit better. Different ways to say, you know what? This is how it was done, but how can we amplify it and do it this way? This is what y'all are seeing in front of y'all. I mean, I liked 1% Better, but to be honest, it was too soft. It was what's your take on that, Millie? Because it was too soft, and I knew we had to turn it up. You feel? How did you feel, bro? How did you feel?
What I felt about it was, when it was originally presented to myself, it was action items that we was going to get 1% better every day, and that's what we started off with the show, and it progressed to different things. And to our credit, we were always able to pivot, rather it was pivot because of location, pivot with guests. But what I did feel like in that 1% Better every day, there wasn't an action item. I felt like we started to become every other show, every other podcast, every other motivational thing. And it really wasn't what we had sought out when we originally came up with the idea, and when the idea was originally pitched to myself. So the pivot in saying Gladiator School, it was like, yo, it only makes sense. Like 1% Better is dope. We had some dope guests, which I love, because, man, some of those guests you might see come back in the Gladiator School because they are gladiators in their own right. But with the 1% Better Everyday show, like he's saying, it was a little soft, and it wasn't hitting you right away. This is a platform. This is a system. This is a structure where we can really get across what we want to get across, which is motivate, inspire, be the spark, but at the same time, be able to give people a little bit something. Okay, what do I do? How do I get a little bit like Melvin? How do I get a little bit like Shondo? How do I get a little bit like Nino Brown? How do I get a little bit like what I see myself, what I want to be, but I just don't know how to do that? And what better place than to do it at Gladiator School, my Gladiator School. Like you get all that information here. So great pivot. I love the 1% Better every day. It was a little soft. We just couldn't hit exactly the way we wanted to hit. But I think we found the structure in which we can do that now.
That's a fact, bro. Like when I came to you and I was like, hey, bro, this is the idea. Like with the 1% Better every day, it had the action items in mind, but it's just once we started to get going, it mellowed out. And it is great that you even brought that up, because what happens sometimes when you do new shit is that when you're going, you can sometimes, have you ever seen like a drop of water and there's already been a trace of water that already went across the table? That drop, it naturally goes to that and follows its path. And that's kind of what happened. It was like, as we went, it naturally just went over there and just followed the same path of every other podcast, every other motivational deal. Yeah. And it was like, after a few months of that, I'm like, nah. That's not why I asked my nigga to do this shit with me. I asked you to do this shit with me because I wanted to turn motherfuckers up. Motherfuckers is too turned down. We're in a society that tells you be humble, be thankful, you know, don't let your nuts drag. You know what I'm saying? I said, nah, nigga.
Yeah.
Over with for that. I've always been in gladiator school, bro. But I didn't know how to verbalize it the right way. You see what I'm saying? Now it's like, this is really us in the ludus, is what they call the old gladiators.
The ludus.
You know what I'm
saying? We're the doctorate.
Come on. This is us bringing everybody to the fucking ludus, man. Like, let's fucking go. Let's use each other to become champions in our own world. Because guess what? Melly Mel not trying to be the champion of my world. I'm not trying to be the champion of his world. You're going to take these fucking skills that you get right here, and you're going to go and you're going to be the champion wherever the fuck you from, whatever job that you at, whatever business that you're trying to take over. So that's what this shit here is about, bro. When we talking about taking some shit over, I really want people to understand that if you want these different things, we talked about Nino with his ambition. If you want more ambition, then one of the ways, and Melly Mel, I'll let you get into another way if you want to describe how they can get it. But one of the ways for a person to attack and gain more ambition or let their ambition shine is to write it down. That's one of the biggest ways, bro. Like, and again, I'm not trying to push anything to you, but this is action item. This is called the 1% Better You book. Okay? You book means you write this motherfucker. I'm not going to tell you a bunch of books that's got 1,000 words in it or 100 pages. Listen, we're going to say that sometimes, but the biggest thing that needs to be happening is you need to be writing your own fucking story. And so if you want more ambition, the first thing that you got to do is you got to write this shit down. I am. What the fuck are you? Are you a beast? Are you a savage? How you feeling? And then you got to say, I want. There's nothing wrong. Listen, we've been suppressing what we want and how to verbalize that for so long. People tell you, like, don't say what you want. Why? Because it sounds too out there. And I'm telling you, you must do that. If you want your ambition to grow, you have to want more things. When I started getting residences in different states or cities, shall we say, it made my appetite for things go up. I got 3 different cribs. My appetite is large now. I will never go back to the way of thinking that I was, just say, when I got out of college and I was okay having my 1 crib. I don't know what it's like not to have multiple places to go. So the way you get ambition is for you to grow it yourself by stating it. You got to put it out there. When they say it's up there, that's what that shit means. That shit got to be up there. People got to look at you and you got to be able to say definitively what the fuck you want. You can't be like, if I say, Melly Mel, what you want? Bro, what do you want? Do you want to be the best? You want to have the best camera line in the world? Or you just want to be?
You already know that. We're going to be the best.
Come on. Exactly. And and y'all are seeing the differences between Melly Mel and myself. Melly Mel, like, we going to be the biggest. He's got a more quiet, calm confidence about himself. I'm a little bit more spark pluggy with the shit. So the thing is, you watching people with confidence, but it's coming out in different ways. So however it comes out for you, it's fine. As long as that shit is there. Period. Melly Mel, what the fuck? What how can they get ambition, big dog? How can they ambition grow?
I'm gonna lean on that and just double down and say the exact same thing, bro. You have to write it down in whatever form that is. There's nothing better than putting your pen to the pad and actually writing that down. You write it, you visualize it, you being able to say it. writing it down is crucial, it's key, it's helpful. I think that if you start to do that, you might see a change in yourself. So I would say write that down. Another thing, if in addition to writing it down, turning that camera on yourself, maybe posting it on IG for the world to see and the world to hear. Put your IG live on and let people know what you have going on and what you want to do. Because just like Shondo said, it's up there, it's on the board. When you said it, now you got to be the man that kind of, or the woman to live up to what you just said. And when you have something to hold you accountable, and again, go back to the original, that's why I wanted to get back to that vlog, because when I'm doing something and I'm sitting around and I'm not, if I took a day off, you know, if I had that camera turned on, I don't have no content because I didn't do nothing but watch TV, that's going to give me a little bit more confidence. It's going to be a little bit more confident. It's going to get me off of my seat to make sure that I do stuff. So that is another form of writing it down. Nothing compares to putting pen to paper, pencil to paper. Like, that's always going to be the number one. But another way, in addition to that, turn that camera on. We live in the social media era now. That's not going to change. Put that IG live on, put your TikTok, speak your goals, say what you want to do, tell people what your ambitions are. Hey, have them hold you accountable. It also helps you hold yourself accountable. So I'm going to double down with that.
That's a fact, bro. And I think that I'm glad that you talked about the stuff with the camera, because what that does is that bridges the gap. Because we got people that's watching it, that's because you and myself, we're like the halfway in, halfway out of digital era time. You know what I mean? Because of the age group. So we're not completely where we just run the social media for everything, but we still are products of social media just like everybody else. Whereas like people that are even younger than us that may be like 19 or 20 right now, they're all the way, you know what I mean, digital, all the way digital with the shit.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I love how you said that, bro. Turn that motherfucking live on. Put yourself in positions where you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Or you'll feel like a fucking idiot for not doing it. That's how you make the ambition grow. That's how you make yourself become bigger. It's just like lifting weights. The resistance makes stronger, larger muscles. That's it. The only way for your ambition to grow is you gotta want more shit.
You might get to the next segment after this. What's the next segment?
Let's get it. Bro, you know what? I think it's time for good old Mel's Corner, bro. Get into it, man. What we got for today, bro? I saw you flexing over there. I mean, I think it's probably time for you to highlight for today.
Tell you the truth, like it's been going great. Recently, I've been doing some intermittent fasting, but as I get into that, and that's why you might see a little bit more deeper cuts on me a little bit, but I would like to always welcome everybody to Mel's Corner. I appreciate you guys for loving this segment, Mel's Corner, where Shondo and myself, we like to highlight some very dope brands that's doing great things. And today, we are highlighting nothing more than Exodus Fitness Apparel. So, as you can see here, I am wearing their hoodie, which is dope. Got the cutoff sleeves, good for working out. I got a couple of posts on my IG if you want to go ahead and see that. But man, a good friend of mine, Chantel Carter. She is a phenomenal human being. She started her own fitness line for women and have a couple of things for men, as you can see here. You can follow them on X Fitness Apparel. They have some really, really dope stuff. I was actually working out in the long sleeve this morning. You see the FX had the long sleeve all the way up to had the zipper. You can button it up. Different colors with that one. Man, she even got like flip flops, got shoes. This is good for like the shower. So if you're in the gym and you want to have some shower shoes or something like that, you can do that. But yeah, man, Mel's Corner has been dope. And if you are working out, if you love athleisure, if you love workout gear, you have to check them out. Please, you see the links. It's going to be in the links below. Let them know that My Gladiator School sent you over there. Let her know that you thought that the hoodie that I'm wearing today is fire. It's unisex, men and women. So women, if you like this, you can wear this as well. Fellas, I'm telling you, you go to the gym, you're going to feel like you're doing something, like you're The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson or somebody. But she has some phenomenal stuff. So I appreciate you, Chantel, and your Exodus Fashion line being a part of Mel's Corner. Please go shop. Let them know where you've seen it, and I appreciate it. And that is the first edition of Mel's Corner on My Gladiator School.
Hey, I always wanted to play the drums, bro. Just hey, that was good shit. You feel me? Hey,
No, it's dope. Super dope. Super fire.
Hey, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We got our first fucking mission of the week. Should you choose to accept it? Now, remember I said your mission. Should you choose to accept it? Okay, let's keep this thing very simple. This is the way we're gonna start it out, Billy. Now, you with me on this?
I'm with you.
Okay, let's start this thing out very simple. For everybody that's watching this motherfucker, for my gladiators, come on, listen close. We're going to be doing every day push-ups for 1 minute. That's it. Start your phone, put your phone underneath you. Start it. You can set the timer for 1 minute, or you can set the stopwatch. If you're going to look down at it, doesn't matter. Make sure your phone has it to where the screen stays open for a full minute so you can see the entire time that goes on there. And just hit that motherfucker. See what your numbers are in the beginning of the week, and then see what they are in the end of the week. That's going to be our first mission. We going to get a little swole, but really what it's doing is seeing how consistent we can stay. You know what I mean? Because we talk about every day. Now, it's something, think about this. This is something that's 1 minute every day. So when you think about it, you're going to do this 6 times or 7 if you do it a little bit before you watch the next episode. So at most, you're going to do this 7 times, okay? 7 minutes out of an entire week. Who's going to stay consistent with this? Because there's no fucking way in hell that you can't stay consistent with some small shit like this and say you want to take some shit over. So that's why we have missions like this. Missions of the week that's small, simple, shit that you can knock out, that's not going to take too much of your time, but in the back of your mind, you're going to feel a lot better once you've completed it. So your mission of the week, should you choose to accept it, push-ups for 1 minute. Let's see what the numbers are at the very beginning when you do it, and let's see what the numbers are in the end. Let's watch the improvement, and let's see how consistent that you can stay. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dope, man. Let us know how y'all doing with that too, man. You can follow us on IG at My Gladiator School. Man, let us know how it's going. Tell us how many push-ups you got on the first time, and if you're on, push up day number 6 or 7, let us know what you did that day and tell us how you progressed and what you thought of that. So yeah, keep us engaged. We always want to know how you guys are progressing with that.
Let me give you guys a little cheat note about it. When you do it the very first time, because you don't know how many that you're going to do, it's going to feel like you're just out in the fucking middle of the ocean swimming and there's nothing around you. But after you do it that first time and you get a basic number for what you know you can do, then you're going to have something in your head to go off of. So now you're just going to try to improve upon that number. That's just like this shit is. That's just like your business is, your life, whatever. Once you put something out there and you get a measuring stick, now you got something to go off of. So after you do it that very first time, watch how much easier it's going to get throughout the week, and watch how many more that you're going to be able to do just because you know that initial number. So I just wanted to throw that in there to you guys. You know what I mean? When you're doing it, once you do it that first time, you're going to have a number. After you got that number, you're going to be solid. You did. So shit, bruh. We went over everything, man. We talked, just quick recap. You know what I'm saying? We talked about my man Nino Brown, who's going to be our gladiator that we highlight for this entire month. The very first thing that we talked about with him was, of course, his fucking ambition. Our topic of the actual day was the fucking takeover. This was a solid first episode, my boy.
Yes.
Solid first episode. Solid first episode. You know what I mean? I think that everybody's got the mission. We know what we're going to do with the mission. We're going to be able to report our numbers when we get back. You know what I'm saying? And say what we've done. Melly Mel and myself are going to be posting our videos of us doing it for our last day so you guys can see what number we got to. Some of you may beat it. Some of you may not. But it's not about that. It's about putting that bitch up there and it being stuck there. So, hey, listen, we're going to bring this thing to a close. We're going to land the plane. You guys are a part of a very special, very elite group, man. Very elite group. People that have said, you know what? I may have come from nothing. I came from nothing. Melly Mel came from nothing. You may have come from absolutely nothing. But you know what? That shit don't have to stay that way. You know what I mean? I love that fucking quote, born broke, but I'ma die rich. I love it. I love it because that's real. That's what a lot of most of us are dealing with right now. You may have been born into a family that didn't have much of anything, but you know what? You're going to be the one to take the bull by the horns and change it all. You're going to be the gladiator that everybody remembers when this shit is all said and done and our bones are dust. So you guys are part of a very special elite group right now, man. A very special elite group. So you got the mission of the week. You got everything, man. You got our hearts coming out our chest straight to y'all.
And
let's get it.
They got it.
We'll see you motherfuckers next week. And we want to see the goddamn numbers. You dig what I'm saying? Again, it's your boy Shondo Blaze along with my man
Melly Mel, Process the Mail.
Come on, man. 1% better every day.
My life like a motherfucking warrior. Welcome to Gladiator School. I'm a beast, I'm a dog. I'm a wolf, I'm a bear. I live the life of a savage. I do what others wouldn't dare. Stay sharp and stay ready, cause it can go down like anywhere. They don't make too many like me. You know the bloodline rare.